Good morning, South Florida. How is the weather treating you today? Today we're going to be talking about co-sleeping with an infant. Co-sleeping with an infant means that when the baby sleeps with its parents in the same bed. There has been supporting evidence saying that co-sleeping with an infant is not the best choice. Looks like I got a video call coming in. Sarah, our researcher, has more on this topic.
Hi, Jasmine, and hello, South Florida. My name is Sarah Singh, and I'm currently a researcher discovering more about the topic of bed sharing during infancy. Bed sharing during infancy can also be described as bedding in or co sleeping. This is when an infant shares the same surface or bed as another adult. The topic of bed sharing has become very controversial because many people believe that sharing the same bed with an infant can increase their chance of getting SIDS. SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, is when an infant unexplainably dies in their sleep. Some factors that are often associated with SIDS include brain defects in which the portion of the brain that controls breathing and arousal from sleep hasn't matured enough to work properly. Low birth weight because premature infants often has less control over automatic processes such as breathing and heart rate, as well as respiratory infections in which a cold can contribute to breathing problems. Parents often prefer their infants to sleep with them because of the accessibility there is during breastfeeding, the enjoyment of spending time with them, the ability to comfort the infant when they get fussy, as well as the ability to put them to sleep and attend to any case of mishap, as well as their promotion of love, affection, and bonding towards their infant. Two infants that I found shares their study of bed sharing during infancy. The first article comes from the Department of Pediatrics at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi, India. The authors Rashmi Ranjan Das, M. Jiva Shankar, Ramesh Agarwal, and Vinod Kumar Paul conducted an observational study where they observed infants in the first 4 weeks of life and followed them up for a variable period on time thereafter. The results showed low quality evidence that bed sharing is associated with higher breastfeeding rates at 4 weeks of age and an increased risk of SIDS. From the evidence they found, they concluded that more studies needed to be conducted that look after bed sharing, breastfeeding, and hazardous circumstances that put babies to risk. The, the other article that I found is a longitudinal study of bed sharing and sleep problems among Swiss children in the first 10 years of their life. The authors Ashkar G. Jenny, Heidi Zingler Furr, Ivo Iglostein, Luciana Molinari, and Remo H. Lagarde wanted to study age trends, long-term course and secular changes of bed sharing practices, as well as sleep problems among Swiss families. Their study observed 493 children longitudinally between 1974 and 2001. They performed structured sleep related interviews at the ages of 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 24 months after birth, and annual interviews thereafter until 10 years of age. The parents of the children were questioned about bed sharing, night wake-ins, bedtime resistance, and sleep onset difficulties during the 3 months before each follow-up interview. The results show that less than 10% of the children slept with their parents in the first year of life, but increased to 38% as they grew to 4 years of age. Bed sharing of at least once per week was noted, and 44% of the children between ages 2 and 7. Nightly wake-ins also increased from 6 months old to 4 years old, where more than half of the children woke up at least once per week. Less than 10% of the children demonstrated frequent bedtime resistance and sleep onset difficulties. Bed sharing and nighttime wake-ins during early infancy were not projected for childhood. However, both bed sharing and night wake-ins during childhood tended to persist over time. In contrast, bedtime resistance and sleep onset difficulties seem to be rather a brief phenomenon across all ages. In addition, there was no consistent, coherent trends that were found except for bedtime resistance, which decreased significantly between the time of the study conducted. In conclusion, the studies conducted in both articles had contributed meaningful information to the study of bed sharing during infancy and whether it's a good or bad thing. Thank you for having me, Jasmine, on the show, and thank you, South Florida, for listening to me. Bye.
Thank you, Sarah. Now let's see what our community has to say. Do you think bed sharing with the infant is good or bad?
I think it's bad.
And because why?
Because the baby could either roll out the bed or somebody could roll on top of the baby, and that's not a good thing.
Do you recommend bed sharing to anybody with an infant? Like anybody you know, do you recommend it to anybody?
I do not recommend it, no.
Okay. What do you think bed sharing with an infant is?
You want to connect with your child, but like at the same time, you gotta really if you're gonna be bed sharing with a baby, you gotta like keep your arm around the child, but just in case, they don't roll off or anything like that. But then again, I would have to go with like a no because they got a crib. That means that they can't they got fences, so that means they can't roll out it or anything like that, and they'll be safe. Well, with a bed, it don't have a damn fence, so it's like, the baby rolls out. That's kind of on you. So yeah, I recommend no, don't bed share with an infant.
This is Justina reporting to you live from Lawnwood Regional Medical Center in Fort Pierce. I'm about to go inside and talk to a few people of the public and see what they think about co-sleeping with infants. Thank you for coming to sit with me, and I'll answer a couple questions.
You will.
I'm going to be asking you a few questions about co-sleeping with infants. Are you familiar with this?
I am very familiar.
You have children?
I have children.
How many?
2.
2, okay. And what are their ages?
16 and 12.
16 and 12,
Yeah.
okay. And do you think that co-sleeping is beneficial or dangerous?
So studies have shown otherwise, but I believe I'm more primal when it comes to raising my child. And so I believe in energy and getting the smell of your child. And so that calmed me as a young father. I was 17 when I had my son, and so I used to sleep with him on my chest, and I kind of raised him as a baby. So I didn't have a mom to do all the breast feeding. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I heard that's not good.
So you think it's beneficial?
I do think
In a
it's
way.
beneficial in a way. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, that is all. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just going to be asking you a few questions about co-sleeping with infants. Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I am.
You are. Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
You don't? And do you think that co-sleeping is beneficial or dangerous?
I believe that it is very dangerous
Why do you feel that way?
because I feel as though, as a parent, when you just give birth to an infant, that you're in a really deep sleep when you're sleeping just because of all the tiredness that you accumulated from the baby. So you don't really know what's going on with the baby when you're sleeping. So you can either roll over on them and squish them, and they can not breathe and die, or they can succumb because you don't know which way the baby is positioned when you're sleeping, and it's just a very horrible thing to do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back for our 5 o'clock news later. Have a nice day.